We've had lots of questions about when you're going to go over to the United States. And we all know that the US was like a second home for you and for Mike and for the boys through the years. So tell us a bit about your plans for the future and going over the States.
Yeah, again, like I said earlier, I think it's a bit of an open book. Unbelievably, I have not been on an aeroplane coming up 2 years, which is astonishing. And Mike was diagnosed in April. Where are we now? April last year?
April 2024.
Yeah, losing track. But in the 3 months before that, which is quite unusual, Mike led on, wanted us to go on holiday. We didn't really do holiday, sitting around on the beach. So, but we did, in those last 3 months before Mike was diagnosed, we went to Fuerteventura probably every 3 weeks. And I'm glad we did. We spent quality time together. Well, I say that, Mike was writing his book. And I thought that Mike would write his book on a slick Apple Mac we've got a room that looks out over the beautiful view, just a white table and a white Mac, and that's how I envisaged him writing his book. No, it was his phone, and he did it like this. And if you speak to Dylan and their dad, I think for the last year or so, that's all they ever saw of their dad, poking his finger. We were amazed that he still had a finger left. He stuffed it so much. And I wasn't involved in the books, but on the aeroplane he asked me to read the opening paragraph of Love, and I laughed my head off. I can't remember why now. And he looked at me startled. I'm not sure if laughing was supposed to be. I think it was him growing up in real. I loved the book. I still haven't read the books yet. So we travelled a lot, and the last trip we ever took, and I can see our Texans here in the front, Chris and Kim, everybody, who've come all the way from Dallas. Mike and I did a 2-week holiday with the boys, and this is, how amazing is this? Because of getting to know Alamis being part of our family, what happens is people go, oh, well, we're good skiers, you should come and stay in Aspen and we'll teach you to ski. That was Julie Lambton told me that when she climbed Kilimanjaro with me. But be careful what you offer to give me, because I'm that girl that will take you up on your offer. So I called Jules Lambton and I said, hey, we're ready now for you to teach us to ski. Apparently she panicked and she shot off to this guy she knew in Aspen called Patrick, who was an alarm fan from Palookaville on the East Coast, and he panicked because all of a sudden they had all 4 of us who couldn't ski arriving in Aspen to be taught how to ski. And for 10 years that relationship has just flourished. Mike and I are like average skiers. We like the nursery slopes. I like the Panda route, but Dylan and Evan are amazing skiers. And then there's another guy, massive alarm fan called Blake Walker from Dallas, and he said, I've got all these golf clubs all across America, you should come over and play golf. Next minute, all right Blake, we're ready to come and play golf. So that's what we did. The month before Mike found his lump, we went and had an amazing week skiing, and then we flew to Dallas, and the boys, well, I think it changed their lives playing golf in Dallas. What was it like, guys? Bit different to playing real golf club, isn't it? So what I'm saying is, we've been very fortunate, and please keep making the offers, because the Peters family will just turn up. So it is really strange for me not to have got on a plane. Well, I couldn't get on a plane when Mike got diagnosed. In fact, Mike tried to negotiate with the doctors, and we've got it all on film. Please, can I just go and do the tour? Because remember, he found his lump on the Monday, and on the Friday we were all packed, ready to fly to Chicago for an 8-week tour. And we said to the staff at Glen Clwyd and Mike's doctor, Dr. Hartin, let us just go and do the tour, so we don't let the fans down, we don't let the band and the crew down, and then we'll come back and face the music. And they said, Mike, this is an aggressive, rare lymphoma. If we don't get you in for treatment this week, it will kill you in 8 weeks. That's what we were dealing with in the background. So we couldn't travel. So a whole year of travelling, and then when Mike passed away at the end of April, the last thing I wanted to do was to get on a plane. So in terms of moving forwards, America obviously is our second home. I just can feel the flutterings of the New York gathering is something that Mike and I worked hard on, and for those of you who came, you'll remember that it became a massive success. So I think if I can, I would like to be ambitious and to get the New York gathering up and running. We've been offered to go and do an amazing 2-day event, and Mike had agreed to it in New York. So I think that would be the plan. But you know, that's another thing, everyone, taking a band. That's why a lot of British bands don't go to America. It's expensive, it's complicated, the visas are just stressful experience, no matter how many times you've applied. So I have to kind of brace myself to, you know, it's me that has to lead on all of those things, and like we were explaining earlier, we've got the new album, we've got Strength, the book, we've got the gathering. You know, before we know it, the gathering will be up and running, and I want to say we will start announcing that soon. And having chatted to a lot of people that come, and Big Country, Ian McNabb, Billy, we're really thinking of expanding it. Mike and I always fancied the idea of the Gathering Festival, but it was only that we were so busy year to year that we never really got a chance to expand it. I think now's the time, especially now we have the bread. I feel like maybe it's going to be real. I just don't know which venue. There's 2 venues that have approached us. There's a venue that want to name the venue after Mike, so that me and Gareth are going to go and have a look at the venues and make the best decision. But I think either side, we turn it into the Gathering Fringe Festival. Yeah, we invite people
Great
like,
idea, Jules.
people like Sharpie to come and play,
So
and
you'll
different,
be,
different performers. So that's where we're heading.
Brilliant. It sounds brilliant.
But I am getting on a plane on Tuesday. Somebody's organised it for me. So I might get triggers at Manchester Airport, but they decided I had to get on a plane.
You've been wrapped with love by friends who are making sure that you step out on that plane. And for everyone who's been writing, when we ask for questions, asking about America, I think that answers that you will be going to America, but we can't say when as yet. We'd like to invite Dylan and Evan, if we can, to join us up here, please, if you will. Sorry to ask you, Dylan.
Oh, Dylan, we were wondering if you'd just do a playbook forever.
Don't worry, everyone. We're not going to put anyone on the spot. But I think we all know that these boys have been Jules's absolute rocks, and I'm sure that you'll all agree that they really are Mike's finest legacy. So we're going to be joined by the 2 boys now. Evan's just taking it.
Come on, Evan.
Taking
You've
it
gone to the
slowly.
toilet.
Brilliant. Well, don't worry, because we're not going to nag. But I am seeing the time. And so...
I just do want to say thank you to Dylan. What people don't know is that Evan wouldn't like me saying